We're recording. Hello and welcome to the first iSOSY training. I forgot to press the button, but that is the welcome. So Tracy?
That was a lovely welcome. Thank you. Okay, so, and you have to bear with me too, because sometimes I'm not adept at moving from screen to screen. So I'm going to be moving around a lot. We'll be doing some activities, but mainly I wanted to introduce you to the resources and to talk about, Cesar gave a little bit of an overview, but I really want to know and use this time to get to know you and your needs. So if you wouldn't mind, if you could pop on camera and you're going to introduce yourself, tell us your role and how long you've been with the MEP, and I will start. So as I said, I'm Tracy. This is, oh gosh, this is my 14th year as director. This is my, let me do math. Is this my 26th year in education? And I've been in migrant for, as I said, 14 years as director. And then I was at the State Department in Kansas for many years and worked with migrant then. But it is truly a passion for me and sort of an amalgamation of the focus of my entire educational career working with at-risk students. So with that, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to turn to Cesar next. He's going to introduce himself, and then he's going to call on someone. Then you'll introduce yourself and call on the next person. So we'll just go around like that. So go ahead, Cesar.
Awesome. Yes. So as you guys know, Cesar, I get to do some fun stuff and serve you. I have been with the MEP now nearly 2 years, and it feels like it's been longer. And I had the privilege to serve families when I first started, to get my feet wet, to get to know the program. And it's taken me that long to get a good foundation, and I feel now comfortable. And that's why we've had the conversations that we've had. And that's why this is here. Yeah. Always why. Let's go. And with that, I will nominate. So, hey, there's Norma. ¿Qué onda, Norma? Norma, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Norma Aguilar. I've been with the migrant program since 2015, and I'm a parent liaison with the Head Start project.
Awesome. Who's next? You get to call on them, Norma.
Yes, popcorn stuff.
Let me see. Elda.
And pop on camera really fast. I know a lot of people hate being on camera. I'm with you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Elda. In Grand Island. I work with the iSOSY, and I've been with the program for about, no, it's been a year. Yep.
Okay, who's next?
Nominate someone.
I am.
All right. I got you, Elda. Lisbeth, since we can hear you. ¿Qué onda?
I'm sorry.
You're okay. Lisbeth, cuéntanos.
Hi. Hi, this is Lisbeth Rivera. I am support service in the ESU 9 in Kearney area.
Okay, call on somebody. This is supposed to be
Angie.
fast.
I can call if they
Okay,
don't.
keep
Candy,
going.
what's up?
Hi, everyone. So I'm Candy Sayas. I'm working for the Omaha project. I'm being the migrants service provider for, this is my first year working with OSY, but I used to work before in the migrant program a few years ago.
Okay, awesome.
Vanessa. I think you were unmuted and you muted yourself.
The other way around. Sorry, I always have a problem with that. Vanessa Gascon with the Migrant Education Program at ESU 7 in Columbus. I do work with high schoolers and with OSYs. I've been in education for 15 years and with migrant since 2011 in and out of the program.
Awesome.
I call on Abby.
My name is Abby. I work with usually 6th graders up to OSYs. I've been working with the migrant program for about a year, but I started working with students in Omaha Public Schools after I graduated high school. So it's been a couple years now, so a few years now. I don't know, Ana Karen.
Thank you.
So I'm Ana Karen Garcia, and I work with students from preschool up to OSY. I've worked with migrant for about 3 years total.
Thank you.
I think that was it, right? Let's
That's
say Josh.
You calling me right now?
Mm-hmm.
You're the worst. Thought we were friends. I'm Josh Arias. I have worked at Pizza Hut for, no, sorry. I have worked at ESU 7 for less than a year. I'm a service provider. Yeah. Has Emily gone? Emily, have you gone?
She hasn't.
Dale, Emily. Let's go. PG, praise God.
Oh, hi, my name is Emily Diaz. I'm working with ESU 9 in the Kearney office, and I do work with middle school and high school students.
Awesome.
Elpidia.
Hi everyone, my name is Alpidia Novoa. I'm a service provider. I've been with ESU 9 at Hastings for less than a year. But before that, I used to work for UNK and then in the Lincoln Public Schools for 13 years. Before that, I worked for the community college as minority recruiter, and I had done some domestic abuse, work for the domestic abuse agency.
Okay.
And I'm very interested to learn more about the OSYs,
Okay.
how to serve them better, because I need that.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Who else?
Alma.
Hey, hello, everybody. Hi,
Hey.
Tracy. I've met you in person, so I feel very privileged.
I was going to say, you look really familiar.
Yeah, I am here in Lexington. I have worked in the migrant program since the year 2000. So I've been here, old dinosaur here, still around. I'm like the neighborhood cat, you can't get rid of me. And I work with families and students, middle school and high school. And we have 5 OSYs this year. We graduated in OSY 2 years ago.
Awesome.
And it was amazing. He was so proud. His family was so proud. We have pictures of it and everything. He just had a blast. And I'm always here ready to learn.
I love it. Good to see you.
Nice to see
Awesome.
you. Okay, go ahead, Caesar. You can see everybody, and everybody that I have on my screen has already spoken. So you pick someone.
All right, I'm Justin Lusk with ESU 13. I am the educational liaison for ESU 13. So basically that is just kind of an instructional coach for the service providers and support them as needed. Based out of North Platte area, but cover from North Platte and the west of Nebraska. We have like 32 school districts, one of the largest. Been in education for 10 years. Since college, I worked for Lincoln Public Schools, DHHS, and the Children's Home, and now with the Migrant Education Program, and this is my 3rd school year with them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Claudia, Head Start.
Hi, everyone. My name is Claudia Bedlan, and I work with here in Hastings, and I'm a parent liaison. And I've been doing this for 6 years.
Awesome. Thank you.
And finally, Aida Smirna.
Hi, everyone. My name is Esmirna Lopez. Well, my first name is Aida, is why he called me Aida Smirna. Well, I have been working for the migrant education program for 10 years, but I started being a family literacy specialist. So I had been working with the preschoolers most of the time, And I started being a service provider 2 years ago. And but I just started working with the OSY since last year. So
Awesome.
I am pretty new with the OSY, and I really want to learn how to serve them.
Okay.
So
Oh, we're gonna have so much fun.
yes,
All right.
Tracy, I missed one. I think I
Oh.
see one. Dulce, I saw you. I see you. I see you. I see everything.
I was hiding, Cesar. So, we're training and working lunch, so I was hiding from you guys. But anyway, I'm a coordinator and I've been with the program since 2019. I started with KPS. Now I'm with ESU 9, and I just joined to be able to support my staff better. I'm a true believer of being out on the field with them once in a while. So in case they need coverage or anything, they're not able to make it, things don't get canceled on the OSY. So I'm trying to prepare myself too with them.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so we have everybody now.
Yes, we should. And Tracy, I think
Perfect.
your PowerPoint is not loaded up on the share screen, FYI, or it might be the
Oh,
only
it's
one.
paused. Okay, hold on. Let me do it again.
I wasn't the only one, right? Okay, there it is. I can see very clear your screen now.
Okay, I'm going to use this just to mix things up. Okay, so, and you're recording this, so you can cut out all my mistakes. You're good at editing. All right, so now, Cesar, I need you to pay attention to who raises their hand first, okay? Everybody knows how to use that function? Yes? Are you ready?
Under reactions.
Here is the question. Which of you can tell me what iSOSY stands for? Without looking. Oh, yay. Okay.
A real hand right there.
Alma.
Out of school youth.
Kind of close.
Yeah, I forgot what the G.
Okay. All right. One more time. Who can tell us what it stands for? You're all desperately trying to read the screen in front of you. I see a lot of squinting. Anybody? Oh, come on.
I'm not sure, but I'm gonna take a guess.
Okay, go.
Innovative supports for OSYs. I don't know.
Super close.
You have something to do with intrastate.
Nope. Hey, somebody go to the website really fast.
Okay. It's the instructional service of out of school and secondary youth.
I will take that. Okay, but I can't tell who said that.
Elpidia.
All right. Cesar, write that down. Send me the email address and you will be getting a little gift from me.
Woo.
So it stands for Instructional Services for Out of School and Secondary Youth. And why is that important? Well, I'm going to tell you. So first of all, there it is. We are an 18-member state, what's called a consortium incentive grant. We're funded by the Office of Migrant Education, and Kansas is the lead state. So Nebraska, I believe, has been a member since its inception. I was not in on the first go round. That was actually Pat Meyerthallen as director, and she now works at the U.S. Department of Education for OME. And so I was lucky enough to take over for her. But why this is important, because, and you can see here's the states, is we have a variety of states. Number one, we have big states, small states, tiny states, right? And so we really try to meet the needs of all states. And I'm not going to belabor this and go into the history in much depth, but I just wanted to point out kind of where we started. And this was pre-me, but it was about trying to figure out how to build a system to identify, first of all, recruit and identify OSY. And then we moved into how do we design services? How do we train staff? How do we measure whether students have been successful? How do we continue to refine materials? And then we, in 2015, we started a significant mental health initiative, which I'll talk about throughout our time together. But you can just see, and you have access to this PowerPoint. You can just see the progression of where we started and where we are now. And I think you're going to be really pleased to hear about our new resources, our new supports, what states are doing. But essentially, our main purpose is to increase state and staff capacity to provide instruction to improve the educational attainment of OSY and secondary students at risk of dropping out. And I love this. I just met with somebody in Arizona last week, and she said, we don't call them at risk of dropping out anymore. We call them our opportunity students. And I love that. And I think I want to start doing that myself. So we know right now, when we started iSOSY, so we're now in our 3rd year, but when we started iSOSY, when we looked at all the data, we realized that only 1% of OSY receive a high school equivalency diploma while with the migrant education program, which is a really, really small percentage. And I love the fact that you shared that story already, that you had an OSY get back in school and graduate. And that is super exciting because it's still, unfortunately, rare. We know that 45% of secondary migratory students are at risk of dropping out. And we all know the barriers. We could list them all. And we'll kind of get into some of the challenges you're facing in a little bit. But the other thing, and this is why I mentioned the mental health issue, is we know research makes it very clear that what we define as personal wellness and improved mental health, we know they have a direct impact on educational opportunity and advancement and attainment. And in front of you, I'm not going to read this to you, but these are our objectives, really focused on making sure that we have evidence of success with our students. But also, if you look at objective 2, we want to, and granted, you're going to tell me, well, Tracy, that's a really small number, but you all know the work that goes into this. By the end of year 3, we want to have 144 migratory youth obtain a high school diploma or high SED or regular high school diploma. We are well beyond that. We looked at the data recently, and we have like, I think 300 plus kids from around the country now. And we're getting ready to write for the next iteration. And part of it is really going to hone in on how do we support and really look at how do we help students address skill deficits in earning their high school equivalency, and how do we support them as they try to move into a HEP. So with all of that, some of you have already talked about your work with OSY, and we're eventually going to get to the resources. But what I really want to know is, what are your expectations for our time together? We're going to spend a few hours together over the course of several months. So what are your expectations? And this is the point where you're going to talk and you can enter it in chat, but I'd love to hear your voices. So if you just want to say, I want to learn about new resources, or I want to work on building a system to support our kids, just tell me, what are your expectations for our time together?
This is Justin. I'm just hoping to take away some tools and resources to take back to my coworkers. So when we do have OSYs, that we are all on the same page, how to connect with them and use the tools and resources that iSOSY provides.
I love that. And we're going to do that. Yes. Okay. Somebody else was.
This is Alpedia.
I'm sorry.
This is Alpedia.
Okay.
What I like to learn is we have OSY they come just work temporary. And I'm supposed to teach some courses, but I don't know exactly, like I have some idea what courses, but I don't know how to teach that. Those courses. And also I have OSY that are staying, they staying and working, but I don't know how to work with them. I don't know if it is a lesson, I need some guidelines with that.
Oh, perfect. Yes. Anyone else before yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, I think I know where the resources are at. I feel comfortable enough looking for them. I think for me, it's what you said, building in a system to where I can catch them and get them going before it's time for them to leave.
Yes. And we're going to, we're going to do that, and we're going to start, and I'll get to this in a minute, but we're going to start and center our work around goal setting. And then, because so often all we hear is motivation, motivation, motivation. They're so busy working, they have no time, they're too tired to work with us. What do we do? And instead, I can't give you a silver bullet, but instead we're going to refocus our efforts on looking at and reflecting upon where we are in regard to relationship building with OSY. And so we're going to start in those areas, and then we're going to dig into, if I have 30 minutes of instructional time, we're going to look at a lot of resources. And we're going to really dig into, so I've done some initial goal setting. A student has expressed interest in perhaps looking at some career toolkit activities. We'll go through that with you. There's the issue that I find is we have so many resources that it becomes difficult at times to be nimble enough and quick enough to think, how can I build a lesson around reading and math, but still meeting where the students' interests are? And I'm going to talk to you about that and show you how to do that. And then we're also going to look at, if I have 15 minutes of instructional time, what can I do? If I have an hour of instructional time, what can I do? Because I think that's part of it too, because not only do we want to make sure we have motivated learners and we're meeting their interests and needs, but we're also looking at how do we modify some of these instructional materials in terms of time for students who are excessively busy and only can give us, sometimes a few minutes, or they're only here for a short amount of time. So we're gonna get to all of that. Anybody want to share anything else?
So what I hear that you need to set up goals when you meet with the OSYs.
Yeah, and we're going to do that not today, because today's kind of just our intro, our introduction. But the next time we meet, we're going to spend 2 hours, and I'm going to show you some activities that can lead to that. And we're going to dig in there, and we're going to look at real student examples and the work that you'll be doing. And it's really not as complicated as I may be making it out to be as I'm talking about it. But yeah, no, that's going to be our first section. So I feel like we've already kind of gotten to this, but I know you took that survey, you answered some survey questions for me so I could help get to know you better. And there's a lot of folks who are new or haven't been with us very long. So
Tracy,
yeah.
I think we have some comments, Abby.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see. So help me. Thank you.
No, I just had a quick question just to clarify. So I know that this program, it says it serves out-of-school youth, but also secondary youth. Are we just going to focus on the out-of-school youth and not the secondary, or could we use it vice versa? I just want a great question on that.
Yes, excellent question. I will tell you this. I was asked to focus on OSY, but what you're learning, what you're going to be learning over these next, I think we're together 4 total sessions, is all of these materials are going to be applicable to your work with any secondary. So your PSF students, your secondary students, absolutely. And if we don't have it, we can also dig in and share what we do have and talk about how to modify and make adjustments. So yeah, but for now, we're going to say we're focused on OSY, but again, there's a lot of crossover,
I think there was one more, by the way, Claudia.
Oh, thank you.
I was just curious about, because I have another scenario of OSY. He married and have like 4 kids and work full time, and I'm working with him, but I think now he's kind of losing interest on the classes, and I'm trying to do goal settings and then doing some life skills to, if he's interested in any topic, I ask him and then I take him, but I think I'm losing him. So I don't know how to continue, working with him and pushing him to see if he can do the GD or come to, I don't know, do online classes. I don't know, but he's a busy guy. So.
Yes. And I'll show you some other resources that we've developed that are online that you may find interesting. And we also have the student portal where they can go in and do some self-directed instructional work. but I'm actually going to send out to Cesar to share with you all in preparation for next time. You're kind of getting a jump on me here. Is I'm going to ask you to answer some questions, and we're going to build case studies. And we're going to enter into what I'm going to call professional learning circles, where we are going to dig into these case studies with, they're going to be real students, they're going to be your students, and we're going to dig into what else can I do? I've tried A, B, C, and D. And like you said, I feel like I'm losing this student. So what can I do to gain back their interest and keep them coming for more support? So yes, we are going to get there.
I think that was it.
Okay. So kind of all over the place in terms of how many OSY you're currently serving. And I really appreciated this. So a lot of you talked about some really great things when we asked to describe a successful strategy you've used. I really appreciate that, setting small goals. So meeting them where they are, doing short life skills lessons plans, putting myself in their shoes, making sure you're right behind them for everything, having patience, sharing success stories, gaining trust to help set goals. And these are all wonderful strategies you're utilizing to gain trust and help students move forward. There you can kind of see it in a different view. And I appreciated that a lot of you said you had used some ISO, at least something, from iSOSY, and then asked what you used. A lot are using life skills. Oh, somebody's still using Anchors. I love that. That's awesome. STAT, our new lessons. We are continuously designing new lessons in response to needs. So now that I've been blathering on, let's get to the heart of what we're doing. So today was just going to be the overview. I really wanted to get a sense of what you need. So for March 23rd, I can tailor make the goal setting piece. And as I said, we're going to have those case studies and we're going to talk about that and really dig in to learning ways to engage students through goal setting and relationship building. Then you're going to learn about the resources and materials that we have to offer. By the end of this, you're actually all going to teach a lesson and receive feedback from your peers on what you can do to improve. Yep, don't worry, it's not going to be stressful. I probably shouldn't have told you that already, but we are building, that is where we're going to go. So we are building towards that. Then you're going to look at how you can utilize the iSOSY tools in identifying needs and planning services. We're going to look at how do we identify those instructional materials and then how we model lesson delivery and plan for instruction. So in a few short hours, we're going to do that because the next few sessions are going to be 2 full hours each. So what do I expect from you? Participate fully. It is not often, I will tell you, I've done a similar training series with one other state. It is very hard to get people to fully commit and participate and devote the time necessary to do this. So first of all, thank you for showing up and thank you for participating. I want you to embrace your own professional learning. We are not good at this. I want you to be present. Turn off your email, your phone, set them aside, and really help us build this system. We're going to try, we're going to obviously have lots of opportunities for discussion and breakout activities. We're going to look at how we build relationships with each other and across Nebraska, and we're going to work to learn ways to support our students. We're going to use breakout rooms, and I hate to tell you this, but you're going to have homework. I know you're thrilled, but this is where we're going. So March 23rd, goal setting. April 20th, mentoring and relationship building. May 18th, instructional resources and lesson planning. Each session builds on the next, builds on the previous. So please try to attend all sessions. They are scheduled to be 2 hours each. So with that, Cesar, I wanted to turn it over to you to talk about the data. And I'll just flip the slides for you at this point.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes, man, that's It's exciting. Tracy, Nebraska's gonna surprise you. We're committed. So get
I love
ready.
it. You're not going to surprise me. I'm
Oh,
expecting.
you already know. I forgot. I'm sorry. So our data, we were able to pull the OSY data and OSY that are PFS from the last 3 program years, including this one. Just FYI, when you look at the data for our for this year, we pulled it in December. I'm pretty sure it was like the end of December-ish, right before we went out for Christmas. I am aware that a lot, depending on the projects, right? OSY are identified in the summers. So just be aware that for the data of this year, it's actually looking very positive. It's looking like we'll have close to 300. But this is the data, obviously from 2021, 2021 to 22. We see an increase in numbers. And I anticipate as we're looking at how many we can get in the summer, probably we're gonna hit 300, which is exciting. So be happy and excited for that. A couple things to notice, right? There's a big growth just from one year to the next. We'll see how the growth is for this program year. We're halfway through the year, like I've mentioned, and COVID's still a factor. Keep in mind that when we're looking, we didn't pull data from 1920. You guys know what happened those years. It was COVID, it was the flood, it was a crazy year. We made it. Nebraska survived. We did it. All we were missing was a shark and the tornadoes, but it was great. We're safe. So that's important to know when we look at these numbers. Now let's look at serving these students. When we talk about services from 20 to 21, from 20 to 21, 2020 to 2021, that year we served instructionally 56 of the students. We'll see the percentage in a little bit. That number went up for the following year. And then this year, it's a little bit down, but I'm assuming it's because we're gonna offer a lot of those services in the summer. Maybe that's what we're thinking. I see some nods that, yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. That's what I've seen with my time here. So support services, we saw that there was a little decline. I think it's important to look at, I think this one would be a great conversation between projects to see how your project was, what happened those years. Maybe there was new staff. I know that a lot of us have different years in our program. So there might be instances, I'm thinking of Omaha, right, Candy? You're new, you weren't here for this year. So you might be wondering what happened during those years. And then that also goes down for this year because, again, I think in the summer is when we offer a lot of those support and instructional services for OSY. And here are the percentages. You can see that we served, those are the percentages of the number of OSY that we served. I think it's a good representation. It looks like in percentages, those are going down. I told Tracy that I think it's my fault. I think I came in and just everything went downhill. But no, I think there's different factors in different areas in our state, looking at district, looking at regionals. So these are conversations that I'm very interested in hearing, your guys' feedbacks, your thoughts as we keep going with this. Then we have our PFS. If you guys don't know definition of PFS, you can find it on your manual or on the website. It's in a lot of places, FYI. We're not gonna read it. Next. These are just the next one is just the identifying factors. If you guys are not aware of this, I know that I haven't brought it up in the past, but it's something that we have in the service provider manual. It kind of just helps us identify our PFS, and as the students progress throughout their years in our program, if they're at risk. So yeah, next one. So let's talk about PFS. The number of OSY that were labeled as PFS in 2020 to 21 was 141, and then we had an increased number the following. And looking at this year's, it looks like it's going up. I think the percentages are next. Yes, so we saw that percentage rise from that year to the next. I think this year is gonna go up. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, OSY, PFS served throughout those years. Let's look at the percentages. I think those give us better information. It looks like that also has been declining. I mean, it's if with the general population of OSY and as well as PFS. These are things that I know we're serving them. I know we're providing what they need, and I know there's challenges. So I don't feel like, oh my gosh, it's declining, really. So I want to make sure to say that because I know that you guys are doing efforts. I hear it from different parts of the state from you. I'm trying, I went, didn't happen. Elpidia, how many times did you go to that hotel eventually? And then they ended up moving? It was like twice or 3 times. Do you remember?
More than that.
You see, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. We are trying and we're trying to get there. And that's why we're doing this, because we want to equip ourselves even better to serve them.
Okay. So I also included, so this would have been, so it says year 2. So this would have been last year. So year 2 of iSOSY. I pulled all your state OSY profile data, and you all have access to this. And we're going to do an activity in a minute because I want you to dig into all of this data. So if you haven't pulled up the Google folder, please click on that link in a minute. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about this. So you could see how many you had, and it would be interesting to go back and look at, because now already I don't remember the original number. So I think it was it 272? So what I want you to pay attention to is the percentages on these questions and then how many reported. So you're going to see now on this first one, apparently a lot of people answered the question, right? So you all know what the OSY profile is and looks like and the indicators on it. If not, we'll make sure you have access to that. But 272 reported yes or no, whether they had access to transportation, which we know impacts whether or not they can get to you, get to school, get back into school, et cetera, get to work. So then we had 55 report health needs. So maybe out of that 272, only 55 reported they had health needs, which is not bad because usually we see higher numbers. Now, I find this interesting that our first number was 272, right? But now we have 281 reporting housing needs. So we asked the question of how they are housed, whether they're with parents or families, friends, a spouse, are their kids present? Are they alone, meaning the only parent with kids? Are they with a crew? Are they alone? So we had 281 reporting there. And then advocacy needs, only 30 responded they had advocacy needs. And that could be, there's a wealth of advocacy needs as what you would call support needs. Last grade attended. So we had a tiny little amount who had no schooling, no previous schooling. First grade, I mean, look at the OSY who reported 3rd, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, right? So that was the last grade attended in either this country or their home countries. And then whether or not, and this is self-reported English oral proficiency, whether or not a recruiter or whomever, a service provider, as they were filling this out, felt comfortable in their conversation and said they had some English language oral proficiency, and then what the home language is. So, and now I can't see the top of that. Oh, reasons for leaving school. Predominantly, obviously, needing to work. But only 82 answered that question. Sorry. Hello. And then just kind of, I always think this is good to know. What are they getting during that initial interview period? Whether it's as the COE is being written, have you come out and work with this student? You're giving them some educational materials, a welcome bag. Is everybody doing that? Is that across the state? What are you giving? I mean, I think those are good questions to ask, but then we have 300 responses for that. Okay. And then what they're interested in, 340 responses. So are you picking up anything from this? And then finally, what they're a candidate for. So, and this one you could, I mean, these last two, you could put multiple. That's also why the numbers are higher, is you could select multiple criteria. So you had a lot interested in health education, limited amount interested at this point in HEP, but they may just not be knowledgeable about what that means. The same with high SED, pre-high SED, PASS, et cetera, career exploration, job training, high school diploma. There were quite a few, adult basic ed, et cetera. So then when you look at what this, we also ask for specific information that states have to send in so we could turn it into the Office of Migrant Education. And you'll see all the states here. So out of all of our states, there were a little over 1,500 kids who were pre and post tested, okay? And then on this next column, you see the number of kids who gained 5% or more, which is basically getting one more question right on the post assessment, okay? So 5 questions on the pre-assessment, 6 on the post assessment. The 6th question is a written response question. So if they got all 5 right, you could give credit for that 6th question being right. And a lot of people don't realize that because originally it was non-graded. And now we're saying, well, if they knew everything, let's give them credit for doing the 6th question. But when you look at those of you who said you did our life skills lessons, which is where you get the pre and post assessment predominantly, although we do have some in Finanza, which is part of our math curriculum, there were 15 OSY who were given pre and post assessments, and 13 of them made a 5% gain. So you did the criteria. I believe we needed to meet was, I think it was 80%. So we met that. Thank you. And then on this next one, this was just the number of trainings that you had done last year and the number of participants in local professional development. And then this is the number of OSY and at-risk secondary students using iSOSY materials by state. And this is what was, again, this is what was reported. These are the numbers we report to the US Department of Education. So you had 21 students, and I do not believe, I don't know if we disaggregated that by number of OSY and then number of secondary, at-risk secondary students. I can't recall. So I also wanted to show you the next 2 slides because I don't know where you guys are in your CNA and SDP process at this point. I don't think I asked you that question. Cesar, I don't know, but this, I liked this because if you've been through the CNA, the Comprehensive Needs Assessment and Service Delivery Plan process, you have to come up with concern statements, and then you kind of look at what do we have in terms of data. And so this concern from this state was we are concerned about meeting the health needs of migratory OSY. They're underrepresented due to accessibility and outreach, just so you could take a look at this. And then this state, and again, this was not your state, but I just like to show this because it shows that states are including this data and this important category in their SDP and CNA and SDP process. And this concern statement was we're concerned about the low literacy levels of our OSY students. And you can take a look at that. So with that, okay, now everybody should have access to all of this data. And Cesar, do you want to explain where their data is?
Yes, I have shared a link on the chat, and I'll send it again to the Google. If you're on your phone, which I saw, you're gonna need a computer, because I also sent an email to everybody where I send a new Zoom link. I just replied to that and sent you guys the same link. Once you open that folder, you'll see on top your project, and you just click on that, and there should be one document there that gives you these numbers for just your project.
Okay.
Any questions?
So what I'm going to have you do, and I realize we have 10 minutes left, is what I would like you to do, because we said we were going to have you dig into data, is Cesar's going to break you into groups, into breakout rooms. I have included, you're not going to do all 4 questions. I've only given you 3 questions because I want you, and everybody should have that in the chat, is what does the data tell us about how we're providing services to OSY? Number 1. And you may not get through with all these questions, and that's okay. We can pick up here next time. But I really want you to take a look at your data and as a team, attempt to discuss these 3 questions. So what is the process in your program to determine what products and tools are used? How are you making data-driven decisions about what to use with OSY? Thinking about the data that you have in front of you and or any data that you might have additionally. And then I don't know that we'll get to the 3rd one, but I think it's an important question. So whenever you're ready, let's have folks break into groups. And if we could, it is 1:50. If we could come back at 1:58, and then we'll see how far you have gotten at that point, okay?
After 6 minutes, it'll give you guys a 2-minute warning. I'm breaking you out per project. And for those that are here by yourself, because, sorry, I will put you guys together.
Thank you.
Make sure I didn't miss anyone.
Okay. I knew I overplanned.
No, you're okay. This is good. People are very excited.
Are they?
I feel good about it. Well, the reason I see that, it's like in the beginning, all of their questions and the things they want to do, and a lot of people wanted to say stuff. So I know that it's something that they're waiting for.
Awesome.
The problem, Tracy, is that in their shoes, they know this that they're talking about right now, and they want to get to that. Okay, teach me how to just,
I know,
What?
I know, but this
It's a little bit at a time. Yeah.
we need to start here, I think, don't you? I mean,
Oh,
I think we need to start here. I know, because people immediately, they always want the silver bullet.
they do.
Tell me what to do. I wish I could do that. I wish it were that simple.
I know,
I
and I
would be
know.
I think I would be rich at that point if I could just do that.
So so that's why I know that's why it's going, but no, trust me, it's really good.
Okay.
They need to have these conversations. They need to see where we're at in numbers. They need to see what has been reported. I guess I can tell them later, but yeah, I mean, one of those problems is gathering that data every year, because before, until I got here, well, even I got it last minute, it was like, oh, hey, tell us everything you did for iSOSY. Like they would get an email to their coordinator. So
Right.
and then they would scrap what they had, what they could get. And it just didn't work out. They didn't have all of that, right? They're supposed to be gathering that throughout the year. So
Yeah.
I have a plan, and they should be able to, this, obviously not this year, but next year, they're going to be documenting all of this, and they'll be able to just press a button and I'll know. Actually, I will be able to press this button and pull this data.
That'd be awesome.
So yeah,
Well, can you see my screen still?
I can, yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the pieces of homework I want them to do, and they could do this as a team if they're here as a team. But I want to start with, how do you know what you're doing is working? So what's being used, who's using it, what's the result, and what additional resource does your program need? And looking at that in terms of instruction, technology, and support resources.
Okay.
And we're gonna come back and talk about that too.
Should I duplicate that document and put it in their folders?
You should have been able to you would have pulled the form. It was in my folder with my PowerPoint.
I saw it. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Should I make that one for each one of their folders?
Sure. Yes.
So they can access only one?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
And then I'm going to send you the case study example. And I have to decide, since I've switched things up and I want to start with goal setting, is I just need to go back and look. Do I want to start? I think I want to start with case studies for goal setting. So yeah, so I'll send that to you as well. I may not get to it today, and honestly, it may not happen until next week because I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going away for the weekend and then coming back and going to DC where you'll be, right?
I won't.
I thought you were going.
No, which one is that?
The state steering team meeting?
Oh, no, I won't be going to the state. So we're trying, this is what I wanted to talk to you about that too. We're trying to figure out how to, okay, the basic. Tracy, things have been done here for a long time one way, and it doesn't seem like it worked.
Yeah.
So the conversation that we've been bringing up is like, all right, so who needs to go to what? Because we have IMEC, iSOSY, IDRC, and all of those three have they need different skills.
Yeah.
I went to IMEC and I was like, oh my goodness, I should have been here 2 years ago. This was so useful for me to learn from just regular program, what the program looks like everywhere. With iSOSY, I come in and I provide support, and when I'm helping with our group, but really my support comes from, it's like, I'm like their technology support. I'm helping them with some of that content and I organize, review what they've already done. So we've been saying like, how can we send people to these things and have them be that, I don't want to say tool, but how do we use them as tools to serve the consortiums that we're a part of?
Well, you're not thinking about getting out of ours, are you? Because I'm not real keen on that.
No. I'm still going to be part of iSOSY.
Okay.
No. I'm not, and I'm not going to be part of IMEC. IMEC is set, but I was just giving you an example of like, I feel like those things they were created at one point, but then we added positions and now we're all here. And I'm like, that would have benefited me. But anyways.
You have a state director?
Interim.
Okay. And it's Benjamin.
It's Benjamin, yes.
Okay.
So that's kind of what's happening. So I think we need to find, I was looking at the possibility. I was like, can I go to the SST? Because I was never told anything that happened at the SST, Tracy. Never. So I never knew anything till I went to the TST meetings. And that's why I asked Benjamin, I was like, hey, we need to figure it out. If you're going, I need to know everything that happens.
Right.
If I'm going, then I'm going. We need to figure this out. So he was like, well, I'll go and let's see if you can go too. And that's when I was like, no. I don't think there's a need for both of us. I think there's a need for communication.
Yeah.
So he will tell me everything that happens and I will be at the TST meeting.
Okay, perfect.
So that's kind of what I just wanted to give you the background.
Okay. No, I really appreciate that. So are they interviewing or for this state director? Or?
They haven't even posted it last time I saw.
Interesting. Okay.
I know it takes a while. That's why we don't work out of NDE. That's why we work out of our ESU.
Right. Well, that makes sense. That's true.
This is crazy. And I'm happy about that. And Tracy, are we gonna schedule a 5th session or you think that 4 sessions will be enough?
I think we could do it in 4.
Okay, perfect. Because I wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
And last thing before they come in 30 seconds.
Yes.
Session 3, April 20th. I just got told my schedule for soccer and that's my only away game. That's 2 hours away.
Oh, we could reschedule it.
I don't think we need to. Benjamin can be here and support you if that's okay, or
sure. Yeah, whatever. I'll do whatever you want me to.
Okay, so then I'll have Benjamin show up that day and help you with all the Zoom stuff.
Okay.
So they will be here in 3 seconds.
Okay. Oh gosh, I didn't even get to any of this. Okay.
I mean, you can ask them if they want to stay. It's up to you.
No, it's okay. That's not right. Okay.
I do it all the time, fortunately.
All right. I realize that was like probably the quickest 8 minutes ever. So did you get to answer a question? Did you answer 2 questions? Where are you? So can we hear from some of the groups?
For my group, we kind of touched on 1 and 2, the first question, second question.
Okay. could you want to be a little more specific? What did you guys find?
Basically, all kind of agreed that it comes down to staffing and that Nebraska we're so spread out, and some projects they work with 3-year-olds to 22, not just your
Right.
iSOSY, so that's really hard. And the time that we're only, we're full-time staff, but so then we don't get additional time to go work with them in the evenings, and so it's just hard on our end as well. And they're working as well, so they're tired as well to come in after their long hours.
Sure. Thank you. Okay, other groups? What did the data tell you? Go ahead.
Sorry, we were gonna say we kind of said the same thing in regards to what the data tells us, kind of being a little bit more prepared for sure. I think all of us working on that. But finding the time for sure. Like it said, finding evenings. I know that some of us have done evenings with the students or trying to find them. I think Elpedia had mentioned the same thing. After 3 weeks, where are they? They're gone already. So kind of finding or organizing a way in which we have things organized, and hey, there's a new OSY, let's get whatever package we have ready for them, and then boom, let's go. Not just but just something set and organized already to start pulling them out for us to not waste any time or spending time on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I realize it's 2 o'clock and I don't want to keep anybody over because I know how pressed for time everyone is. So I had probably 120 slides. I didn't even get through half of them. So, and I talk really fast, but I don't talk that fast. So I'm going to modify some things of where we'll start next time, but you're going to have 2 assignments. One, as a group, and these are going to be in your team folders. I want you, if you can, and you can go in and enter date, you can enter information. You don't have to, if you can't come together and talk together, that's fine. But I really want you to take a look at what are you doing right now? How are you doing it? What is the result? And what additional resource or resources does your program need? So we're going to look at, if you look at this column, this first column, I want to know in terms of instructional resources, technology resources, and then support resources. What is being used? And I just put a few numbers. If you have more, you could add more. Really use this how you choose. And then who's doing it? Because we also want you to start talking across teams as well. What's the result? Is it working? How do we know? Because why add or change things? If something is working, we want to keep that, right? And then think about what additional resources you might need in those 3 areas. So that is homework number 1, which should not take too much time because people can enter information as they can. And then number 2, I'm going to send a case study document. It's just a series of questions, and you will have until probably like the 17th or 18th of March to do this one. So I'm going to give you quite a bit of time, but I want you to think about a student that you have had, you've worked with in the past, or you're currently working with, and we're going to build our work around these case studies, and we're going to reference them and use them as part of our training. And I will get that to Cesar as soon as possible. All right, it is 2:03. I kept you over 3 minutes. My apologies. Should have planned a little more time today. That was my fault. But I will see you on March 23rd at 1 p.m. I'm very excited, and we're really going to dig right in. We're going to hit the ground running. So thank you for this little introduction, and I look forward to seeing you all back in a month.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Tracy. Everybody have a good one. I appreciate you guys paying attention and listening and participating. You have your homework. This document will be in your folder. I'm making copies and renaming them so you don't lose it. Yeah, good to see you.
Thanks, everybody.
Trust me, I'm